If you move too fast, you don't notice all the opportunities there are to be kind. Henry James Garrett.
Kindness begins with the understanding that we all struggle. Charles Glassman.
I'm hoping to convince you that you owe others at least that kindness you would extend to them if you had talked with them, listening to and believing what they had to say, and were fully aware of their lived experience and how your actions might affect them. Henry James Garrett. Good morning. Every year, like clockwork, as summer draws to a close, you can guarantee that in every class you sit in, introductions begin the same. Say your name, your form, where you're from, and a fun fact. So, my name is Avery. I'm a sixth form boarder from Locust Valley, New York, and my fun fact is that I am a twin. For most people at Westy who don't already know this about me, I'm always guaranteed the same question. Why doesn't he go here? For the past 4 years, my response has always been the same. He just has never wanted to be away from home. And while that isn't technically a lie, it's not the whole truth either. My brother Matthias was born with a seizure disorder called cortical dysplasia that has ruled his life every day for as long as I can remember. He's fortunate in the sense that it's only formed on the right side of his brain as opposed to the entirety of it, but it still weakens the functions on the left side of his body. He takes a few rounds of medication every day and has fortunately not suffered a seizure since we were little. However, he still suffers from the long-lasting effects of his disorder, as the main effects of cortical dysplasia are intellectual disabilities. My brother has never had an easy time with schoolwork. Starting in preschool, we were separated, going into different classrooms at the school, so he could receive extra support to be able to catch up to others in my class. Going into elementary school, he went to a school one town over, and every morning, my brothers, Karsten, Johannes, Matthias, and I, along with the other kids on our block, would wait at the corner of our street to be picked up. Every day, after finding a seat, I would look out of the window and wave to Matthias, who was waiting for his bus. After school, we would all bring our work to the dining room table so that we could work together, all the while getting into silly arguments and constantly yelling at each other. In the middle of this, the three of us, Karsten, Johannes, and I, would take turns teaching Matthias and helping him understand his schoolwork. Even as a kid, I could easily see that his disabilities made him feel isolated and insecure compared to other kids our age. In the summers especially, my older brothers and I would get to stay longer at our club, swimming in the pool with friends, while he needed to leave in order to go to appointments such as occupational therapy. We understood how having to be treated differently made him feel detached from us, and we always included him in activities that he loves. From playing sibling tennis, which has recently been outlawed, from playing basketball in the backyard, or having intense fights over who got to play with the Wii, we always made him feel as normal as possible. One of my favorite moments from elementary school was my bus driver, Andy. On Wednesdays, he started giving everyone a lollipop when they got off the bus and was very strict with the one lollipop policy. However, he always allowed my brothers and I to be able to take an extra one from Matthias so that he could feel included. When we reached the 3rd grade, Matthias and I began to attend school together. Here, I continued to see the differences between us. Once I would finish my homework, I turned my attention to helping him with his, and I would notice that he was struggling with topics I had completed months ago or in the school year prior. Around this time is also when I saw my brother struggling socially. It was hard to wrap my 9-year-old head around why people I grew up with would treat my brother differently than they had treated me. He wasn't very outgoing and oftentimes kept to himself instead of trying to make new friends. I knew he was frustrated with the fact that I was able to fit in with my classmates while he had to go out of his way to meet them and form new bonds. I realized how hard it must have been to be the new kid at school, while simultaneously adjusting to a new environment and classes. And since then, I tried my hardest to keep him involved with friends and fun activities in and outside of school. While my brother has grown significantly over the years, keeping up with his schoolwork and even being inducted into the National Honor Society, the impact of being his sister will always be the same. You see, I will always believe that having him as my brother is a gift, no matter how often we fight. He's taught me how to be mature and diligent. However, the best lesson my brother has ever taught me was how to be empathetic. I learned that everyone is different. You will never be able to fully understand another person until you walk a day in their shoes in order to understand the hardships that they have faced and overcome. I've always tried to apply this to my daily life. No matter how little the action, you never know how easily you can make someone's day or even change their life. Whether it's holding the door, complimenting their work, or inviting them to sit with you at a meal, even the smallest of gestures can mean the world. Being able to share someone's pain, happiness, and sometimes even anger will always be able to motivate people to be kinder to one another. The ability to be sensitive to someone else's suffering is what makes us human. During my past 4 years at Westminster, I have faced many challenges that made my everyday life difficult. In the late spring of my junior year, I would have a string of anxiety attacks almost every day. One particular day, while sitting in class, I felt one begin. The worry consumed me, my eyes began to water, and my hands started to shake. After leaving class, I found myself sitting on the bathroom floor with my back against the wall crying. I couldn't tell you why it never occurred to me to go into a stall. I wasn't thinking very clearly, but 2 girls who I'd never truly interacted with before had walked in. Instead of giving me weird looks or making me feel vulnerable and embarrassed, they offered me support and kindness despite our non-existent relationship, and they are the reason that I got back up on my feet and back to class for the rest of the day. That day, I was offered what I like to think of as the final piece of my brother's lesson for me. You don't always have to be best friends, or in the case of my brother, siblings, to be able to stand up for or offer support to someone in need. Being kind is as easy as you make it. I know that deep down, I've become a greater version of myself, and I'm so grateful for the support I've been given by faculty, friends, family, and even the people who aren't really strangers. Westy has been the best second home I could have ever asked for these past couple of years. I've constantly felt love and support from our community, and that is what makes it such a special place. If you're going to take anything away from my chapel talk today, it's that the Westminster community relies on kindness. Even the smallest of gestures have the capacity to create big effects on one's life. The ability to be kind is yours, and I hope that every day you take every little moment as an opportunity to be kind. Whether you have 3 more years or a little over a month, I urge you all to accept the embrace that this community has to offer to you, and to keep being kind to one another, as the acts of kindness are the foundation of Westminster. Thank you.